Well, I hope I left the university in a better place than I found it. And I was so deeply impressed, I mean, in this building when the fire happened and the building was almost destroyed. But you know, the sort of passion that people had about it, and to make it better and to make it a museum and to really celebrate it really touched me deeply. And that's true in so many ways. The hospitals and clinics here, they do so much for the state of Iowa and for the people of Iowa. And I think this university always rises to the challenge when there's something that Iowans need. The University of Iowa responds, and that was deeply meaningful to me. And I made some lifelong friends here, so I very much appreciate the time that I had. Well, I think the more experience that I've had in higher education, the deeper respect I've had for all the institutions, you know, where I've been, and certainly that's true at Iowa. When you look back over the legacy of the excellence in writing here, and that excellence sort of suffuses everything. You know, the fact that the printmaking started here, that the MFA started here, that was initiated back in a time in the country when, in the Depression. And yet there's this resilience of spirit here that it's there today. I mean, it's part of the fabric of the institution. You know, I was so impressed that one of the first things that the settlers did when they came to the state of Iowa is make possible a university, because they knew that high quality education was essential to progress, to economic progress. That's still true today. And it's deeply meaningful to me that that happened when it did back in 1846. Well, I love the notion of great public research universities like the University of Iowa. Their very openness, their accessibility, the fact that they educate large numbers of students. But it's not only the students that they educate. Even though they provide most of the physicians and the dentists and the lawyers and the engineers, and many private institutions don't have that breadth of scholarly work that public institutions have. And so, you know, I think they're extraordinarily important, though they are threatened. Across this country, states have withdrawn support. And it's true, you know, that universities like Iowa can charge tuition and that they can raise dollars from philanthropic sources, and that's very important. But I think it is not the right approach to pass on the burden of all the cost of higher education to families, because ultimately that's self-defeating. So the fact that these universities provide so much in the way of services in addition to the education that they provide for the students of Iowa is enormously beneficial for the state. Well, I think a place like the University of Iowa is as relevant today as it was when it was founded because of what it offers to the people of Iowa. And there's so many firsts here. I mentioned some of them already. It's just this excellence in writing, the best in the country and probably the best in the world. The printmaking, the MFA, the hospitals and clinics. I mean, we're reminded, you know, every time there's a football game and TV about the importance of the hospitals and clinics when we can see those big structures in the background. There's been so many firsts here. I remember when the Van Allen radiation belts were first discovered, and I was so proud of the fact that that was Jim Van Allen here at the University of Iowa. And I was a student in Cedar Falls, Iowa, growing up when that happened, and it was really exciting. So you know, that legacy, the University of Iowa has a tremendous legacy. It's part of the Big Ten, which is a tremendous, it's an athletic conference, but it's also an academic conference. And I think that ability to share among like institutions is enormously important because it makes everyone better. And so this university, as I said before, it's as relevant, if not more relevant today than it was 175 years ago. And I would hope that the state would continue to invest in it because it provides so much to the citizens of Iowa. And I'm proud of that.